it seems with getting the new hardware in, I forgot to double check the settings with that one with Mythic Plus. So that was a very quick moment. That was an attention getter, thank you. Alrighty, so we're taking it a bit slow and a bit easy, so we're not taking all of the packs together. But it does look like we had an engineer with us. Any additional help on the damage is always useful. There we go, this is the dots that the last boss also does. It's good practice early on in the dungeon to get used to the damage. Doesn't do too much since it's just on a 10. But if you're not prepared for it, it can easily overwhelm you. And as you can see, it's back on us again, so it does happen very frequent during the encounters. Most people will see it as just something the healer has to watch for, but when you're on the boss fight, the last boss, with all of the additional things going on, it really needs some attention. Where are we going to go, tank? Oh, so we're going for these. These silk binders do 2 separate casts. This silk binding that needs stopped, and the other one just does a big burst of damage to one person. And again, the dots on us from the swarm guard. It's going to make sure everyone's nice and topped. The only danger that comes in is if someone is getting hit with 2 web bolts from the casters and it's not interrupted. Apart from that, there shouldn't be any reason why you die. At least in theory. If we don't kick this skull at the moment, when its cast finishes, it will put a dark spot, a dark circle on the floor that you must move out of. This here is something you have to watch when you dispel it. If you dispel it straight away, there's a good chance that you're actually going to stun someone at the same time. 1 sec. Sorry about that, my daughter just walked in at the same time. Alright, so as I was trying to say, the debuff that comes up is simple enough. One person moves out and then gets dispelled. Otherwise, there's a good chance that the orbs that are on the person will shoot out from them when dispelled or expired and stun everyone in the process. I must say, I like this relaxed pace. It's different. This first boss normally gets done in several different ways. You'll start on one corner and slowly work up the room, and then come down the other side. As soon as you engage the boss, he will pull you towards where he's currently standing. And unfortunately we lost someone at the start there, so that's not so good. Well, now pop heroism. Right, so, here come the orbs. We've got to make sure we're not going to hit anyone, and we dispel. And then we look at the last person that still has the debuff on them. And make sure that we dispel them or avoid the orbs coming out. A small pulsing bit of damage, and then we have to move. Otherwise, this big black circle gets so large that it will kill you if you step in it. Normally the tank will ping as to which direction they're going in. Again, one's on me, I'm going to make sure to dispel it, and then focus heals on the hunter. And then when it expires, it shoots out orbs. Now where we are standing, he will most likely go this way. Yep, there we go, that's the ping. And as soon as the boss finishes his cast, we immediately move to a safe area. As you can see, the boss is already at 50% health on a +10, so you've got so much space. Incoming orbs will dispel on the paladin. We'll watch the heals on the hunter. It's a good bubble from that paladin, because that was not good. Again, pulsing AoE damage, it doesn't do too much. But we're going to move. Where are we moving? The warrior didn't ping. So it's a good idea just to pay close attention to where your tank is. I'm just going to quickly demonstrate when you move too far, you'll get pulled back in like so. Dispelling one, focus and heals another one. What's up? No, that's fine. Oh, the tanks get overwhelmed. He's not pinging anymore, and everyone's panicking. It's very easy to get overwhelmed when it comes to this. There's a few tank busters that happen at the same time. But if you, as long as you ping as to where you're going to go, it keeps the group in the know instead of guessing. There's a good chance if you go the wrong way, you get pulled back into the black circle, and it will just kill you. This mob here is one of the hidden Queen's Guard. Or the Eyes of the Queen, sorry. I've yet seen a pug that's actually tried to do this like the MDI, where we all break off in each direction and meet up in the middle. Never seen that happen, but I'm so curious to test it. There seems to be preset areas as to where the hidden NPCs are. After you run this dungeon a few times, it becomes easy enough to figure out where they're going to be. As we head to each area to find the Eyes of the Queen, I'll quickly point out a few areas they can be. By default, in most groups, you'll go left here. The first one's either behind this building, in this building, or at the back of it. Let's see what it is. Oh, it's inside the building. Okay, it's normally in this one, inside the building, or at the back. This is one of the spies, number 2. We've got 2 more to go after this. Oh, it looks like the paladin actually get caught by one of the watchers outside, and he get ported back to the start. That's unfortunate. These mobs don't really do anything too bad. They put a small dot on everyone that's just a case about healing or using a defensive. It's nothing too major. As long as everyone stays healthy, they're in no real danger of dying. There are a few packs that have one caster when you're finding this stealth mobs. Just make sure you catch the kicks on the casters. I'm going to try and find the next one. There is 2 more to find in total. This next one is either on the left here. Don't always follow this. It's either on the left here, and if it's not there, it's in one of 2 other places, which is down to the left here, or at the very end. So let's see. Okay, it's down this one. It's that NPC there. After a few tries in this dungeon, you start to realise where the mobs are. What is that Death Knight dying to? I'm not sure how he managed to die unless he ran straight into the patrol. And he's being awfully quiet in the group chat, so I'm going to guess something went wrong. Biggest thing about having a warrior tank in this, when it comes to trash, as long as they keep up the shield block, they don't take much damage at all. It becomes very relaxing. Nice wee ascendance proc that. Now when you've finished off the one at this side, you go up and over, And again, it's in one of 3 places. I'll quickly try and point them out as we go. You must avoid these priests. If you go into the circles, they will channel on you, which does a bit of damage, and you'll actually have to get ported back to the start. So on this side here, the NPC is either on this side right here, it's either in this building, or it's down there. Let's find out where it is. Okay, there's no shadow clone, so it's over here. You start to know where they are. They're always in one of 3 places, and there should be a caster in this pack as well. Again, every one of these packs always does the same standard dot to the party. As long as you keep on top of it, no one should be in danger of falling over. There's a few different strategies you can do for the next boss. There's certain key moments where you'll have to use defensives, and it's a bit of a healing check if people use them at the wrong time. I'll quickly explain them whilst we do the roleplay up top. Oops, sorry, too busy typing away that. Alright, this boss does a few mechanics. There are 2 of them. Generally time them together. And the first ultimate they always do puts a group-wide dot, which initially ticks everyone down, and then a dot gets applied. If you can try and dispel it as quickly as possible and make sure people stay above half health. After that, the next ultimate is lines. If you have them facing this blocked off wall, say they're tanked over here, and you're facing this blocked off wall, they will not charge because there is no path available. Otherwise they run all over the room and it's wasted damage. So, let's see how this fight pulls out. Just a group wide dot that comes out on a few people. Nothing major. It is very important to keep people top though, because the first ultimate they do is just coming in. Here it comes. There we go. So we're going to pop a defensive, we're going to pop a few group cooldowns. I'm going to make sure the paladin stays nice and high. I'll dispel the Death Knight and myself with my racial. And we'll try and make sure the lines get pointed towards the wall. And they won't move. Just because they had no path available. That was actually really well done from the bug. The next one that comes in is called Rhyme Dagger, which if you're a Death Knight you can use AMS on, but everyone must stack on the tank for this and help remove this circle on the tank. The more people that's close and in the circle, the quicker it's off. That's essentially all the mechanics in the fight. Again, lines, so we're going to reposition towards the bit without a path. They're going to run away. And let's see if we can get them over against the wall. No, that's unfortunate. The next one that comes in is going to be something you have to sidestep and dodge out of. Just be careful you don't get clipped. For the dots, sometimes it's nice to pop a slight defensive because it can get quite scary at times. This one's going to be the dot again on everyone. So we need to make sure we dispel the low ones first. That way no one is in danger of dying. With cooldowns it becomes very easy to out-heal that, but without, it's really rough. The next one's going to be Rhyme Dagger again on the tank. I'm not sure if warriors can spell Reflected. I'd be curious to find out if they're able to do that. Unfortunately, most of the tanks at the moment seem to be prop paladins, so you don't really get much of a chance to test it. There's going to be the lines coming up, so I'm already repositioning against the walls. That way hopefully they don't move. Unfortunately, the first two are miles away. It's always the case you're standing in the correct position, but it never goes on you. You try your best, but you can only do what you can do. That was actually really well done. Now, depending on which tank you do, sometimes you do a single pull first here, and then they'll do 1 or up to 3 packs. These mobs do a stack and debuff on the tank, which will need group help to slow the mobs. But essentially it means they take increased damage. It does wear off after a few seconds, so thankfully it's not too bad. How are we going to do this? Is he just going to make it nice and easy? As you can see, his health felt really low there, because he's currently on 4 stacks. So we're just going to make sure that it doesn't take additional damage when not needed. I'm looking to see if he's going to jump away, and at which point I'll have to slow them. Nope, he's just going to stand there and tank it. Fair enough. If he doesn't take these additional packs, we're going to be really, really low on count. You generally don't want to pull 2 of these Webmancers together, because they do a very, very nasty cast, and both of them heal. But you simply must make do, because not everyone goes the same route. Now he's on 6 stacks, and his health is really starting to plummet. 8, 9. Thankfully, because he's a warrior, he can actually negate most of the physical damage. Some other tanks are not so lucky with that, and they can easily fall over. A lot of people end up saving their kicks for the mending web. However, that is simply a channeled ability, and you can easily kick or stun it. But this other cast you do, Grim Wave Bolt I believe it was, it does a lot of damage. That's great if you've got a warrior in a group. They can easily spell reflect that stuff. Any additional help on the damage is definitely useful. Now this mob up top here, the Venom Shell, puts out poison dots on everyone. I generally like to try and use my poison cleansing totem for the first one, and then the next cast it does, I'll cover it with some defensives. So just make sure you're not standing in the swirlies. I use poison cleansing to get most of the dots off everyone. And as long as you don't get hit by the green swirlies, you're in for a good time. Avoid the frontal, that's very nasty if you get hit with that. And here comes the next dot that's coming out, but by the looks of it, he might die before then. There we go. That warrior done over 1 million damage single targets. Now these packs here, the Unnaturally does a cast called Void something. If that cast goes off, it will knock everyone back. Void Wave. If you interrupt it, you will not be knocked back. If you don't, you will be knocked into some of these depending on your position. And they spawn additional adds, and it's generally not nice. I might have to have a quick break after this to quickly fix my settings. With having new hardware, I think something is incorrect. I'll have to fix it. Again, we've got some more unnaturals here. Just make sure you interrupt the void wave. As a healer, I like to go down and pull the droplet packs. When these die, it will spawn the next boss. So if you can bring them up for the tank, it saves you a bit of time. And also by the time they're all grouped, everyone can just AoE them down. Now this next boss here is quite interesting. There's a few mechanics that happen during it. You've got a few knockbacks, and then you've got red glowing orbs, like you can see now, floating around, that will head towards the boss. If they reach the boss, they will heal him. Your job is to interrupt the path of them, so basically stand in the way of the orbs and make sure they don't hit the boss. But when you do, it puts a heal absorb on your character. There's only one real damaging AoE on this, which is called Dark Pulse, which you will need to commit a defensive for. See, I'm going to run over one at the moment. It's going to give me a heal absorb that I need to out heal. If I don't, it's very difficult to survive the AoE the boss does. Again, another AoE from the boss. Now it's going to be the Dark Pulse, which is the AoE on everyone. I'm going to commit a few cooldowns just to make sure everyone stays alive, because he's dying really fast. There's no point in risking it. The hunter's dying because he had a big absorb shield on him and I couldn't pick him up. The tank buster on this is really, really rough, but you get plenty of time to pick up the tank afterwards. I'm going to commit another cooldown, that way everyone stays nice and healthy. If they're already really low in health and then they collect these orbs, it's very hard to keep them topped up. You can easily be overwhelmed, especially if you've only got one person collecting most of them. And also, he'll do a second cast, which puts a small circle underneath him. You don't want to stand in a circle. That's what happened to the paladin there, and he died. Every time you collect an orb before it reaches the boss, it will spawn a small circle underneath. So don't get caught out with collecting the orb and then standing still. If you do that, you will end up being overwhelmed and die. Again, here comes an AoE, so I'm going to make sure everyone is staying nice and healthy. Only me and Hunter have popped defensives, but if needed, the Death Knight can always use Death Strike. And now we're on to the last boss. The trash packs in the last area are really, really bad. If you pull the both of them together, there's a good chance your group will wipe. They do overlapping AoE, and it's rather nasty if you can't split them up. As soon as we step through this doorway, a small roleplay will happen, and then one mob will activate, and then the next one. So you have time to interrupt the first cast, and then move the first caster away. Okay, so as we step through, you'll see something happening to the two mobs that are here. We'll interrupt the first cast and we'll pull them over. As the tank has just said, follow the paladin said, follow the tank on this. This boss, there's more happening to it, but it's not really much to watch for. Umbral Weave is essentially a route that you must kill. So if you stack up for that, it's a lot easier to keep people alive. The boss will spawn 3 orbs, which from time to time will move around the room. and it'll always be on players' locations. So if you stay with the tank, it will make sure that nobody is actually getting hit with the path. Because if you're caught in the path of an orb moving, it will do damage to you. The boss will also do the Umbral Weave, which unfortunately does root you. So if you don't kill it quick enough, you run into the problem of the orbs hitting you, and then you wipe. And he also does this next mechanic coming out from this mob here, Tremor Slam, which hits everyone for a big chunk of damage. As long as everyone's above half health, at least on a 10, you stay nice and healthy. The last mechanic is a Tank Buster. It's a big circle that gets put around the tank. No one can stand in it except the tank. If you do, you die. Every time he does the slam, he spawns small scarabs. Just quickly AoE them down. Just please make sure that the tank has a chance to pick them up first. Again, there's another dot coming out. I try not to commit too many cooldowns here because you do definitely need them on the boss. But as you can see, even with just one NPC, everyone falls really low. Now I hope he's going to give me time to get a little bit of mana before we engage the boss. If not, that's unfortunate. So, here's the 3 orbs, the 3 swirlies. Splice is the AoE damage that comes out for the group. Everyone now moves, no one gets hit. But unfortunately, the hunter needs to commit a cooldown, and he didn't and died. That's why you need to commit cooldowns for Splice. Again, we move every time the orbs happen. There's going to be a root incoming. We should stack up on the tank and get ready to AoE it down. That was getting scary low there. So again, make sure you move away from the orbs. We don't have a battle rest for another minute and a bit. And this is the Tank Buster. As a healer, there's 3 blasts that come out. Just keep on top of the tank's health. Here come the orbs. Splice is going to happen, which is the AoE group damage. And then the orbs are going to move. Unfortunately, no one has used cooldowns. Oh, there we go. See, the Paladin used it for the big ultimate tapping. You really need to use it for Splice instead. Again, here comes Splice. Everyone's going to drop quite low, and then there's going to be the Tremor Slam. Paladin's bubbled, beautiful. And then the orbs are going to move again. And it's going to be the Tank Buster. So we move away, and we let the warrior take the hits. He's used shield wall for that, beautiful. And again, the orbs are going to spawn. Tanks normally pull it away when they spawn to give us time to react. Splice the AoE group damage. Then we move from the orbs. This Death Knight's dead. That was really good. That was a really well timed death strike. Well done. Again, moving for the orbs. This Death Knight is so playing it risky. Splice the group damage. And it's going to be the root. So we avoid the orbs. Make sure everyone stays stacked. AoE down the weave. Thank you, Paladin, for the freedom. That's beautiful. And we avoid the swirlies. The next one's going to be the Tank Buster again. We'll just make sure that the tank stays nice and healthy. I'm going to ping the Paladin so that he can battle res. And we avoid the orbs. Again, Splice. And avoid the orbs. So weave, we're going to stack up for this. I'll pop a defensive. soon as you can, quickly kill the weave, and then get ready for the orbs moving again. And that's the thing.